YouTube? Good morning. Welcome to Nocturnal Thoughts. First thing first, let me go ahead and jump on this scale. Hold up, that's way too close. We'll reverse. Let's see how much we win today. Need 198. Let me check that one more time. Wait for that to zero out. Let's see here. All right, 198.8. Holding the phone. 198.8. Holding the phone. So take away the phone. Let's say 198.79. I don't know. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Nocturnal Thoughts in the building. Let's get set up here. That ain't bad. 198. Usually I'm about 198 or 195 to 200. Just depends on how many calories I might have put in the day before. But I usually hold on to about 195 to 198. And that's just kind of my natural weight. Like regardless if I have a lot of protein or medium amount of protein, if I don't eat or put in the correct amount of fluids, I could drop down maybe to like 195. The lowest I've been in years is like 190. But if I rehydrate and eat and everything like that, then I usually get up to about 195 to 200 pounds. My goal was to get back up to like 215, 220, but that's just hard to do with my schedule. And see, I'm just so busy with my schedule, it just seems like it's almost impossible for me to do what I need to do as far as the eating, training, especially the sleeping, where I would be able to bulk back up to the 220-ish. But I can't complain at 200, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens. I really don't put a lot of stress or effort into it. I just maintain and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? If I ever was to get to 220 again and benching up to whatever I was benching for something, if I get to that point again, that's fine. If I never get to that point again, if I maintain this point for we'll see. I could maintain this point for another 10 years and I will be completely happy with that, because then I'll be headed into my 50s. All right. So anyways, that's not what I came here to talk to you guys about. So good morning. Nocturnal Thoughts in the building. Welcome to Nocturnal Thoughts. I am your host, Nocturnal. All right. Today actually is the 360 wave day. I just came up with a real short list of pros and cons of the 360 wave game. Like I said, I'm not trying to take over the wave game, but I want to put in my 2 cents. So without further ado, since we're talking about the 360s, at least let me pull them out and give them a quick brush. What is this right here? Probably a Diane. Had this brush for probably about 4 or 5 years, and only got 2 or 3 brushes. I got a Diane. I think this is you want to check that out? And that is a hard brush, and I have a medium to soft. I have a medium brush and a soft brush, and I've had these same 3 brushes. And let's see the waves up close. because my videos will never show the true definition of my waves. Yeah, because I don't do like I don't do the lighting necessary to really show off the effect of my waves. But anybody that's waving can look at, even with this bad quality of video, anybody can look at this and see that if I was in the lighting, if I was in real good lighting, you would be able to see the definition of the waves. But they're there. You know, they've kind of always been there. So, but the pros and cons of the 360 waves, right? What made me do this video was, like I said, I'm 39 years old, and not too long ago, maybe a couple of days ago, last week, matter of fact, I ran into some buddies of mine I went to high school with, two of them, and we had a quick little conversation. All three of us back in the day had the 360 waves. And back then I wasn't even as serious. I would let my hair grow out, and I would do the braids. You know, back in the day you had Bone Thugs and Harmony. You had who else was doing the Method Man had the joint with Mary J. Blige, where he had to have braids, half unbraid. I used to rock that. So, you know, I used to let my hair grow. I would walk around school with the big Ice Cube from Higher Learning afro. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, whenever I would cut my hair and brush it, I would go back to the basic 360s. And these guys, they kept the 360s. I ain't gonna say their names, but they kept their 360s. You know, on fleek, or whatever you want to call it. But it was funny because naturally both those brothers went bald over the years. You know what I'm saying? And I was sitting with them, and they just made some comments about my hairline still being intact. And it made me kind of reappreciate the fact that I'm 39 and I'm still able to rock my little 360s. I always had a lot of complaints about them. I would cut these things off. I would grow them out. I tried to do a bald head. Matter of fact, a couple of years ago, just because I was tired of the 360 waves, I wanted to try something new. So I tried to shave it, and the thing is my hair would grow back kind of fast, so I could wake up in the morning, do a fresh shave, and look kind of clean, how I wanted it to look. And by the time I would get back home, you know, I would have a lot of little like hair coming out, 5 o'clock shadow look, which just completely took away the whole clean look of a fresh shaved head. And then again, I had some sensitive skin in the back, and I couldn't shave it the way I wanted to shave it. Over time, it would just get really irritated and start to, you know, get agitated, and that didn't work out for me either. So I just let my hair grow back, and I go back to my 360 waves. And I thought I was, you know, I like them, but sometimes I don't like them. Anybody that's been doing 360 waves for long enough know sometimes it can get to a point where you don't appreciate your 360 waves. So, real quick, oh yeah, back to the little story. So both of those brothers went bald, and it was funny because I didn't think of it like that. But I remember back in high school, to me, they was killing me with the wave game. Even though I always had the natural 360 waves, they, to me, were elite wavers back in those days. And now both of those brothers is rocking that bald head look. And, you know, they look good, they look clean. But they kind of sat there for a minute, and I could tell it was bothering them. And it was like, yo, man, you got the golden brush. And then they say, yo, man, I remember when they start having a conversation between themselves, like remembering when they start losing their hair. And I could just tell that kind of bothered them. I mean, they probably over it now, but it didn't help with me sitting next to them, talking to them, rocking 360s, reminding them of how it used to be back in their prime days, in their high school days and all that. So it really, for a second, just made me appreciate my 360s and the fact that I still have some hair on my head. And so the cons kind of go out the window at that point. But it made me want to do a pros and cons list. See? Wow. So this won't be completely off the top of the dome. I had to write this down just so that I didn't just keep jumping all around with my little ideas of the pros and cons, right? Yep. Hold up, hold up. Bam. Hold up. Let's see here. No, I ain't looking too bad for an old man. Anyways, 360 pros and cons list. Check it out. First con I got, this is an easy one. Constantly wearing a do-rag. That's one thing that I hate about the 360 wave game is you constantly have to wear a do-rag. With my hair texture, especially depending on the weather, I could take off my do-rag, and if it's too hot outside, you know, and it's not a fresh cut, all that stands up and you just completely lose the definition of your waves. You know, they just kind of raise up enough to where you go look in the mirror and it's a totally different look. And you get to a point where you just constantly wear the do-rag, and do-rags just aren't made to last very long. So you have all kind of problems with the do-rag. You have to buy just 100 of these things just to keep a fresh one on. So constantly wearing a do-rag is a con. Let's see. Let's go to a pro. A pro, the 360 waves makes you look younger. Like I said, I'm not balding yet. You know what I'm saying? And it makes you look, keeps your youth to you. Now, so I'm 39 years old. Both those cats I was sitting next to, one's probably 39, the other one was 40. And not that they look bad, but most people that will look at them on a regular day will look at them and say they look about 39, 40. Now, some people might look at me and say I look 39, 40, but I can trick some people with the hairline. You feel me? So anyway, maybe I can. I don't know. You let me know, right? Let me see if I can get this to line up. So constantly wearing a do-rag is a con. One thing about 360 waves, to me, is that it's an old-fashioned look to me. So one con for me is that sometimes I feel like I look old-fashioned. And it's partially because I've been doing it for so long. You know, I've been seeing it since I was in high school. Even before I was in high school, people had 360 waves. So sometimes I look in the mirror and I just feel outdated. You know what I'm saying? Even with the wave game going strong on YouTube and whatnot, still every once in a while, you know, just the younger generation are coming with a new hairstyle. Like nowadays, like what my son is rocking, like a drop fade with the kind of fro on top with the scruffle look. And, you know, they rock all kind of different little dreadlocks and dye, you know, blonde tips. And, I mean, when you go around some younger guys, I'm with my son somewhere and I'm around a younger generation, you see so many different little hairstyles where, you know, these kids are trying so many different things. Sometimes it can make you look at yourself and say, man, I'm getting old. My hairstyle is old. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's a little bit of a con. Sometimes you can look a little old-fashioned. And you can't really, with the 360 wave, you really can't change up your style as much. Like you can get a temp, a fade, you know what I'm saying? Or you can let it all, to me, I let it all get uniformed and I don't fade my sides up. I like to keep it all uniform down to here. But other than that, it's not too many things you can do. Yeah, I know 360 G's do all kind of different little bursts, tapers, and different little tapers on the sides and the back, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to a 360 wave pattern. You know, 720s, 540s, whatever. Waves is waves, right? And you really can't change them that much. To be honest, I don't even consider what I got to be 360 waves. I just got waves. You know what I'm saying? They not uniform at all. I could uniform them up on the sides, but naturally this is how my pattern come in. Then there's waves. And like I said, a con to the game is they don't change. Like if I cut my hair, scalp it, and grow it back and let it just do its natural thing, lay it down, that's the pattern I'm going to get, right? Okay. Another pro. On the flip side, 360 waves never totally go out of style. Some things are timeless. 360 waves, to me, are timeless. So sometimes you might feel, let me step back. I feel like I'm too close. Sometimes you might feel like you look a little old-fashioned, but some things never completely go out of style. You know, 360 wave game still is strong in the community of YouTube, and even just in your day-to-day life. I still got a lot of people that admire or come up to me, and younger kids still admire me. As far as I see a young kid come up to me who has like a coarse hair, who struggles to get 360 waves, and he come up to me and he's like, "Yo man, how you get your waves like that?" You know what I mean? And his buddies might have, like I said, the scruffled afro joint going on, and the dreadlocks going on, or whatever, or just the braids going on. And he'd have his do-rag on, and he'd come up to me and he'd be like, "Yo man, how you get your waves like that?" Because at the end of the day, no matter to me, like I said, personally, sometimes I feel like they look old-fashioned on me. Even from a younger perspective, sometimes it's just one of those styles that never completely go out of style. So that's a pro. So con number one, constantly wearing a do-rag. Gets a little irritating, gets a little old. Con number two, you look old-fashioned, in my opinion, sometimes. Pro number one, makes you look younger, because I'm not balding. So all my old heads out there, if you still can get your waves popping, do your thing. Pro number two, never goes completely out of style. About to wrap this up. I only got 3 more for each. Con, and while I'm doing that, matter of fact, I know on the wave game, everybody wants to stop. I remember Muzz would make a 20-minute video completely about just brushing their hair. I'm only at 17 minutes and I've gave y'all some dialogue. My last 360 video, I couldn't think of dude's name. It came to me, Soul Seeker. Shouts out and rest in peace to Soul Seeker. He was one of the original YouTube video makers on 360 waves. How to get waves and do all that do-rag and everything, right? So, back to the list. Bam. I hear my little bulldog coming up, interrupting. Con number 3. You lose definition and your uniform look without constantly getting a haircut or a lineup. What's up, Brute? Nah, no, you don't come in here. Just go sit down. You're probably hungry. So, let me close this door. Okay. Con number 3 is without a fresh haircut or without a fresh lineup, you lose the definition and you use that uniform look. So after a haircut the next week, you can look in the mirror and you're not going to be happy. Like with a fresh lineup, you look nice with the 360 joints. No doubt with a fresh haircut, you look nice. But the problem is if your hair grows at a fast pace, you can get your hair cut, and to me, after about 3 days, you start getting your new growth coming in, and your line starts to lose that crispy effect. And after 3 days, you looking in the mirror and you about ready to put your do-rag back on permanently to your next appointment. Or if you like to wear hats, after about 3 days, that fresh look is gone, and you putting on a hat or a do-rag. So that's a con, because the style doesn't last. The style doesn't look fresh if your hair grows fast. For me, like, you know, if you wear a do-rag, a couple days later your hair starts growing back, and get this line back here. And I don't care what kind of do-rag you wear, how you tie it. If you start to let your hair grow, it's going to grow around your do-rag, and it's going to get an indentation into your next cut. That's a con. As far as when your hair grows back, like to me, if you're rocking the dreadlocks, you just let it go wild. It don't have to be, you might get your dreadlocks twisted once a month, you know what I'm saying, or less than that. But the wild, sometimes with your dreadlocks, the wilder, the better, you know what I'm saying? So you can let the wild look go. With the 360, you gotta kind of keep it crispy or it doesn't have the same look to it. So let me speed through so I can knock this out. It's at 20 minutes now, and I don't want to make long videos. So, loser's definition without a haircut or lineup. Pro number 3. We're going 3. Pro number 3. With a haircut and a lineup, it looks perfect. You know what I'm saying? And it always gets a lot of attention. Like, I can be around somebody that sees me all the time with the do-rag on, or without not having a fresh cut. If I go get a fresh haircut and a fresh lineup, it could be that same person that could be like, man, yo, something look different, man. You looking tight, you looking clean, you looking crispy. Or somebody like, hey, oh, man, you look, yeah, man, something, yeah, man, I know, man, your 360s look dope. And it's like, these are the same 360s. It's just they done got cleaned up and lined up, and now they popping, and they catch your eye, they catch your attention a lot better. So that's a pro. When you do get that fresh lineup, when you do get that fresh cut, it's like getting a whole new, you know what I'm saying? It's like rejuvenation, you know what I'm saying? So if you on top of your game, especially if you're a self-barber, which I used to be, but I'm not anymore. I got tired of cutting my own hair. But when you do get your when you do get your joints cleaned up and lined up, they brand new looking again. Just like going to go wash your car and waxing your car. You got a whole new car. You know what I'm saying? So, con number 4 is somebody constantly asking questions about what's that on your head and why are you wearing that on your head. Like this right here can bring some negative attention. You know what I'm saying? It's related to, people associate this in their minds with stereotypes sometimes. Also, some people just curious. They're just naturally curious. They like, yo, what? Why are you wearing that on your head? Like I had a person come up to me one time and said, what does your hair look like? You know what I mean? You always expect, because I'm at the gym. When I'm at the gym, I got my 360s laid down. I don't work out where I sweat and my 360s come crazy and I got to go home and do all this maintenance work. So when I'm working out, I'm wearing my 360. So somebody that only see me at the gym, only ever see me working out, they come up, the one time they just got the courage to come up to me and say, what does your hair look like? You know what I'm saying? I had to take off the rag and show them that I had hair. Or you get kids, or you get just curious people that don't know no different, and they come up to you and they be like, yo, man, why you wearing a do-rag? Why you wearing that do-rag on your head? So you get questions like that. So if you're a 360 waver, you know what I'm talking about. But that's a con to me, because sometimes you don't feel like explaining yourself to people. Sometimes you don't feel like going through the whole, explaining 360 waves and why your hair has to be laid down and blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. All right. And don't ask me why I keep flexing. It's just I don't look at myself all the time. So right now, I'm getting used to looking at myself on the camera. Right? Where we at? Pro number 4. Pro number 4 is being able to show younger guys how to get waves. Doing this for so long, and sometimes you do get a young guy with the do-rag on who will come up to you and he'll ask you questions about your 360 waves, and I like to be able to explain someone that's like me, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that's like me, that's younger and got some genuine questions, and I can give them some game real quick. I can explain to them my process and what I do and how easy and simple it is. Because some people that's trying to get waves, they think it's just so hard. And they see somebody with waves and they come up to you and they're like, yo, man, how you get your waves like that? And a lot of it just depends on your hair texture. A lot of it depends on your genetics. But at the end of the day, there's always tips that you can share. So I like that, having my waves. If I do have someone that comes and genuinely has questions about my waves, I like to help people out if they're trying to do the same thing. So that's a pro. And we about to round third base. We almost home. Con number five. Con number five is that it costs money and it costs time. Two things. It costs money and it costs time. Whether it's going to the barbershop, it costs time and money to go to the barbershop. Whether you're talking about products, 360 wave products for me, you're not spending a lot of money. Like I might get one or two products that could last me forever. But like I said, you got to constantly buy do-rags. If you want fresh do-rags, you got to buy a lot of do-rags. But it definitely costs a lot of time. But you can't replace time. You can replace money, but you can't replace time. And that's one of the biggest things that it can cost you. Like I said, the reason why I wear my do-rag so much is because I don't have time to always be trying to fix my waves. So when I get home from the gym and just shoot off to work, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time in the mirror doing all that, and then I'm just gonna throw my do-rag back on anyway. So for me, it can add up a little bit going to the barbershop every 2 weeks between getting a haircut and a lining, and it costs you a little time getting up, going to the barbershop, and just doing your maintenance, putting your products in, washing your hair. After you wash your hair and putting your products back in, or whatever you do, wherever the way you take care of your waves, it costs a little bit of time. And sometimes you might feel like I could have been doing something a little bit more productive with my time. I just spent 20-30 minutes on brushing my hair and putting product in my hair. I just spent an hour and a half at the barbershop or whatever the case may be. So that's the con. We almost done. And pro number 5. Pro number 5 is this moderate to low maintenance. There is some maintenance involved, but sometimes there's not. You know what I'm saying? Like after a fresh haircut, after a fresh lining, you do get at least 3 to 4 days of no maintenance. You just get up and go. As long as you got that on there, put it on before you go to sleep, wake up, take it off, brush, 2 seconds, put in a little bit of shine, boom, you gone. And you get a little bit of, that's low maintenance. Moderate maintenance is in between. Like after you might have had, if you woofing, which I don't woof. I don't woof. You know what I mean? But if you woofing, it becomes to be a little bit of a more moderate. You have to do a lot more to compress your hair. If you woofing, it's a lot more product you got to put in your hair. If you woofing, you changing the whole game. That's why you have all these woof challenges. Now I had any challenge on here, not intentionally, but I have out woofed unintentionally. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember going the whole summer without getting a haircut when I was younger back in the day. Just didn't have no money. I was having to get 2-3 months of hair growth on this thing. So I know about woofing. We didn't call it woofing back then. We just called it broke. Back then we called it broke. We didn't have no money to get no haircut. You know what I'm saying? And I was in that in-between stage where you couldn't go ask your mom or your dad for money. You had to just go without a haircut until you could scrounge up some cash that you didn't have to spend on food for yourself and go get a haircut, which was, for me, like I said, I done went a whole summer without getting a haircut. And by then, after you go a whole summer without getting your haircut, by then you say, man, I might as well just go get some braids. After you get your hair braided, you find somebody to braid your hair for the low. Then you say, I might as well just let my hair grow. You know what I'm saying? And then your hair get long. Boom. After your hair get long, you get tired. You can't find nobody to braid it. Then you say, man, I might as well get my hair cut. That's how long it took you to save some money to get a haircut. So, but nowadays, when you got a constant paycheck coming, it's moderate to low maintenance in comparison to other hairstyles that might be a little bit long. Like getting your hair braided to me is a high maintenance thing. Dreads for me was a high maintenance thing and way more money. So there you go. Moderate to low maintenance is a pro. So 360 ways, 5 cons, 5 pros. Appreciate y'all time. This is Nocturnal. Stay tuned. I got one coming up talking about pros and cons of the beard. It's going to be called To Beard or Not to Beard. That is the question. So stay tuned for that video. I appreciate y'all for rocking, for watching, for paying attention, for holding y'all attention on this video for 30 minutes, going on 31. This is Nocturnal. Appreciate y'all.